Hi there. Possibly good morning, possibly good afternoon, possibly good evening. Who knows? Welcome all those of you around the world. And speaking of the world, what I want to talk about for the next couple of minutes is the Atlas of Endangered Alphabets. So when I first started giving talks and exhibitions and lectures about my researches into minority and indigenous scripts, people were absolutely fascinated and they said, this is great, where can we find out more about this? And the fact is, there was nowhere. And so starting in 2019, we created the online Atlas of Endangered Alphabets, and it had profiles of about 100 indigenous or minority scripts, and then links and galleries and pictures and all that kind of thing. And at the time, that was about all we knew about, pretty much. Since then, the research has been continuing, and we've been building up our knowledge of how many more minority scripts there are around the world. In fact, this is part of a thing we call the Red List Project, to try and identify every writing system that is to some degree at use in the world. And as the Red List Project continues, obviously the Atlas needs to be updated. And so what we're doing today, World Endangered Writing Day, is relaunching the Atlas of Endangered Alphabets. And I'm going to take you to that site in just a second. And you may care to know that there is actually a print edition of the Atlas that is coming out soon, and you can pre-order that book at the amazon.co.uk website by searching for Atlas of Endangered Alphabets and my name or something like that. In any event, what I want to show you is just what this means, and if you haven't been to the Atlas before, what it's like to travel through the endangered alphabets. So I am going to share my screen, and I'm going to take you to endangeredalphabets.net. So this was a site that was designed by our web genius and art director, Alec Julian, and has since been updated by our global web, oh dear, I've forgotten what title we gave her, Drea Sullivan, who is the latest member of our team. And you'll see just how epic, first of all, the work that she has done is, secondly, the research that led to this, but also how epic the world is that it has all of these remarkable scripts. So if I scroll down briefly, every one of those pins is the rough location of a minority writing system. And if I click on the alphabets, then you will see where it is that we found them. So as you can see, we have added as many new scripts as there were before. So you may be thinking, okay, maybe all of this is really dry and tedious and whatnot. So I'm just going to introduce you to a couple of these scripts right now when you realize, no, this is the most fascinating stuff that I have come across in my life. And some of these scripts we really still know very little about, and some of them, let's have a look at the Babao Songbook script. So this is a short entry because it has been so little documented. This is a script that has really been only documented once. And as far as we know, it's only been used once in one village or the town of Babao in rural China. And it's only been used for one really specific purpose, namely to document songs. And so one particular researcher found 802 unduplicated symbols on shoulder poles, on bamboo tubes, on bottle gourds, and on scabbards. So this is obviously very rich and important in that community, but nowhere else. And also, as you will find when you read about these songbook scripts, it's by no means just the words of the song or even just the music. The symbols themselves have an extraordinary poetic relationship with the songs that is almost unique. And they really raise spectacular questions about what is writing? How do we understand the thing that we call writing? So I'm going to back out of that one, and I'm going to go down to a really, really endangered script called Lota Ende. So this is a script that is used for the Ende language of the island of Flores in Indonesia, which has many, many traditional scripts. And this script, again, this is stuff does not come more interesting than this. This script is only now used, and very little used, for one particular purpose. We're used to using writing, for everything, which in a way, oddly enough, reduces our sense of its value. This is a script that is only ever used to write poems which will be recited during male circumcision rituals. I'll say that again. It's only used by people writing poems, usually family members and friends and neighbors, that are recited as part of the circumcision ritual. And one of the purposes of these poems is to mark the passage of this boy from one stage in his life to the next. And they tend to be profoundly sad. And in fact, the way in which these poems are judged, because it is a contest, is by, how much they make people cry. And that is a tradition that is waning. And it's I can't help seeing this in these kind of profound emotional terms, that you have a physical tradition that is sort of on the wane, you have a literary tradition that's on the wane, and you have a script that is on the wane, and all of the users are gathering together and crying. So I cannot recommend enough that you dive into the Atlas of Endangered Alphabets and you explore these scripts. And in fact, to give you an extra incentive to explore these scripts, I have created a puzzle with a prize. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can show you the prize. Okay, so the winner of this contest gets one of my carvings. Very appropriately, this is the carving in the Kulitan script that is the core image of World Endangered Writing Day, because it actually says the word writing in a minority script, namely the Kulitan script of the islands now called the Philippines. So this is, the light is not doing it much justice, but it's a beautiful carving. Take my word for it. And this goes to the winner of the contest. Now, the contest goes as follows. If you go through the new entries, all of which are flagged as a new, in the Atlas of Endangered Alphabets, there are various clues embedded in and under the profiles of these scripts. Now, many of these clues, I have to say, are red herrings. Some of them are extraordinarily red herrings. Your job is to sort out what these clues mean. And these clues will lead you to a 12-word phrase or statement about writing. Okay, so if you sort out the clues from the red herrings, they will lead you to a 12-word sentence or statement about writing. And in fact, it's actually a statement that I made up and I use in my book, Writing About Writing. So that's a clue. You can actually approach it from that direction. So this is what you have to do. You have to read through the new entries. You have to pull out the various clues and decide which ones mean something and which are red herrings. And if you think you have found the answer, you email it to us at admin, ADMIN, at endangeredalphabets.com. Oh, great. There we are. We have graphic. Admin at endangeredalphabets.com. And the first person to send in the correct answer will win that carving. You absolutely can work on it with friends and family members. The only thing is you then have to decide who gets the carving if you win. So Atlas of Endangered Alphabets is at endangeredalphabets.net. The answers are to be submitted to admin at endangeredalphabets.com. Have a wonderful time reading about all of these extraordinary Indigenous and minority scripts from around the world. Thank you so much, and our regular programming will continue in just a couple of minutes.